If you guys look at the map, here is Indonesia and here is the Suriname. It's almost 15,000 kilometers apart. But here is the question, how did Indonesia end up all the way into the Suriname? And that question is easily answered if we dig up into the history that even a lot of people doesn't even ever know. Let's we talk about this. Hi everyone, welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to answer how did Suriname have a lot of Indonesian people or Indonesia ancestry in this country. So before I answer the big question, let me tell you guys where is Suriname. So Suriname is a tiny country on the northern eastern coast of South America, sandwiched between Guyana, French Guiana, and Brazil. It's one of the smallest countries in South America by population with only around 600,000 people. And what makes Suriname it immediately unusual is that despite being geographically in South America, its official language is Dutch, not Spanish or Portuguese like the other country in South America, and this alone is your big clue that something historically happened here. And here's the thing, roughly 15% of Suriname population trace its roots to Indonesia archipelago, specifically the Java Island. Tens of thousands of people in Suriname whose grandparents speak Javanese, a traditional Indonesian language, ate Java traditional food, and practice Java tradition. So in Paramaribo, the capital of the Suriname, you can find traditional Indonesia wayang performance and even eat nasi goreng as a local dish. So how does Javanese people end up 15,000 kilometers away in a country most even Indonesia can't even point on a map? The simpler answer is Dutch colonialism, one of the darkest and most consequential systems in history. Now, let's talk about a brief historical background. In the 19th century, the Dutch controlled both the Indonesia archipelago as Dutch East Indies and Suriname simultaneously. And Suriname economy ran on plantation agricultural such as sugar, coffee, and cacao, and that economy ran based on enslaved labor. When Dutch abolished slavery in 1863, plantation owners faced a massive labor shortage overnight. They need worker fast and they needed cheap. So the Dutch colonial administration looked at their other massive colony, and that is densely populated of Java Island in Indonesia. And they saw this as a solution. So between 1890 and 1939, the Dutch brought approximately 33,000 Javanese workers to Suriname under a system called contract or contract labor. And these people were mostly poor rural Javanese who were recruited often with misleading promise to work on plantation for a fixed period, usually 5 years, and after which they were supposed to send home, but the reality was far more complicated. Many of them couldn't even afford to return journey Others had already started family in Suriname and some simply had nothing left to go back to. So they decide to stay on the small colony. And then the generation is born and the next generation is born and they decide to stay and become one with the Suriname population. So how life in Suriname like? Early life was extremely hard, especially for the Javanese worker who were at the bottom of the social hierarchy, working in tough plantation conditions and also living in segregated labor camp with little legal protection. Over time, as the contract end, many transition into small-scale farming, trade, and eventually urban life until Suriname finally became an independent nation. Today, the Javanese Suriname community is fully integrated into the country's social fabric. And what's remarkable is how much survived this journey. This community maintained their language, Javindo, the Suriname Javanese, a dialect that distinct from traditional Javanese in Indonesia. They keep their foods like tempe, ketupat, and soto, dishes that as Indonesia is instantly recognizable. And also they preserve the Javanese traditional art performing like wayang kulit and gamelan music. The Islamic tradition that blend with Javanese spiritual practice is carried over too. And even some of these cultural forms are actually better preserved in Suriname than in the part of Java today. Because this community was cut off and had to held on tight to what they brought with them. And here is more interesting part. So are they Indonesia? Are they Suriname? Or both? So the Suriname Javanese today is identify themselves as the Surinamese. And because that is their home, their nationality, and where they are born. But the Javanese thread in their identity runs deep and they hold onto it with pride. Some have visited Indonesia and described the experience as meeting a distant relative. The hybrid identity that built over 130 years, shaped by different continent, nation history, and the multicultural. So, in the end, the Javanese in Suriname didn't choose to live. They were moved by the colonial economic, broken promise, and bigger circumstance. But what they built after that is a culture that survived an ocean crossing, adapted to the new world, and still carries the echoes of the Java tradition. That is the end of my video. I think Suriname is a beautiful country, and as Indonesia myself, I think we are very much a relative with mostly the same tradition. As always, thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget to comment and like my video to support me. That's it. Take care, stay healthy, and goodbye.